Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about something really important. The all-important airline induction process or airline interview process. Stay tuned. Once again guys, thanks for the amazing response you've been giving me on all my videos so far. If these videos are helping you, like, comment, subscribe and share them with as many aspiring commercial pilots as you can, so we may all bust the myths surrounding commercial pilot training. So let's dive right into the topic for today. The airline induction process, the all-important airline induction process. So this video today is not limited to Indian or Malaysian or Southeast Asian pilots in specific. This video applies to all aspiring airline pilots across the globe because airlines in general and the pilot communities within these airlines tend to have similar hiring processes and similar hiring requirements when it comes to the people they select to be airline pilots. So guys, airline hiring processes have changed a lot in the last 2 decades. As compared to the tools and the software that was available 2 decades ago, HR teams have got a lot more available at their disposal today. A company can today hire a pilot to within pinpoint accuracy of what they require, thanks to software and thanks to the tools that software offers. But does this make it more difficult for the aspiring pilot to become an airline pilot? No, it makes it more challenging. All you need to do is keep yourself prepared for that airline induction process, which is generally similar for many airlines across the globe. So let's dive right into the steps of the airline induction process. Depending on which airline you apply to, we are generally looking at 4 major steps. Number 1, a technical knowledge test. Number 2, a psychometry test or a psyche analysis. Number 3, a group discussion. And number 4, a personal interview. So now you're done with your commercial pilot's license. You're done with your multi-engine rating. You're probably even done with your type rating. The airline only knows you on paper, because you applied to them on paper, right? You applied to them via an email or a phone call, or maybe you sent them your documents. They don't know anything beyond the documents that they've received. They need to know you as a person in terms of your technical knowledge, in terms of how you think, in terms of how you behave. So the first test, or the technical knowledge test, is basically a technical test of the syllabus that you covered during your commercial pilot's license. It generally remains limited to the syllabus of a commercial pilot's license. It doesn't go beyond that. They also may include a few questions from your high school 10+2 or A-level syllabus in physics and math. As long as you're on the ball with your CPL knowledge, you generally don't need to worry about the technical knowledge test because it's very straightforward. To prepare for the technical knowledge test, there are a lot of books available out there and a lot of question sets available out there to keep you on the ball. The technical knowledge test may also feature questions from exams like CAT and GMAT, which test your quick thinking and your aptitude. Along with the technical knowledge test, they may also include something called a CCT or a complex control task, which is basically a computer screen with a joystick and rudder pedals, and they'll expect you to do a few basic tasks. If you've finished your CPL and you've flown an airplane enough, this should generally not be a problem. So that brings us to the end of the technical knowledge test. If you clear the technical knowledge test, the next step generally is a psychometry exam or a psyche analysis. For many years, aviation authorities across the globe have been pondering the idea of checking a pilot for his psyche. Well, he's flying an airplane with 150 people on board, right? So you need to know that he's of sound mind. After the Germanwings incident, where a first officer locked his pilot out of the cockpit and rammed his airplane into a mountain, killing everybody on board, it became even more important to implement such a test. And then after that dreadful accident, most aviation regulators across the globe made it mandatory for airlines to include a psyche analysis or a psychometry test. I have one piece of advice for the psychometry analysis. Be as honest as you can and be as positive as you can. A psychometry test or a psyche analysis generally consists of about 200 to 300 questions. They may just be statements and you need to mark them true or false. For example, I would like the job of a librarian, true or false. Just be as honest as you can and don't try to fool the system when it comes to a psychometry analysis. This is for your own safety and for the safety of people around you. Which brings us to number 3, a group discussion. What they are looking for in a group discussion is your decision-making ability. The airline will group you up with another 4 or 5 candidates. They'll give you a topic and they'll ask you to debate that topic. The observer of the group discussion is basically looking for how you put your points forward, how well or how systematically you think, how you make decisions, and how well you listen to others and include their points in your discussion. The group discussion is all about teamwork, guys, just like flying. All they want to know is if you are a true team player or not. Which brings us to number 4, the personal interview. This is the big one, guys. If you've gotten to this point, you probably already are really good, and now it's down to the last few candidates that need to be eliminated. A typical airline interview panel, depending on the airline you apply to, would typically have 2 to 3 pilots and 1 professional from HR. Guys, anything is fair game in an airline interview. The pilots on the interview panel could ask you anything under the sun, and you need to be prepared to answer them. The interviews generally last 20 to 25 minutes, which means they could ask you anywhere between 8 to 10 questions, and you need to make sure you're on the ball with those questions. Nobody is looking for perfect answers. Nobody is asking you to answer all 10 of the questions, but you need to show them that you've studied well for your CPL, you have studied well for that interview, and that you're being able to think correctly about the questions that are being asked. Some of the questions will be simple and straightforward. Some of them won't. Some of them will test the way you think and how you apply the information and the knowledge you acquired during your CPL into answering the question. That's what they're looking for, analysis and decision making. As far as the HR professional is concerned, I read a really nice article a few years ago, I've forgotten where I read it, but it made me think of a very simple thing that we tend to overlook when we go through an interview. Yes, the purpose of an interview is to check if you're right for the job. Yes, the purpose of an interview is to check if you're up to the mark with your knowledge. But the purpose of an interview is also to know if you would make a good co-worker or a good colleague. That's exactly what the professional from HR is trying to establish. Show the HR professional that you are an inclusive human being who can work in a large corporate environment. Remember, even the smallest of airlines will have a minimum of 100 employees, so it is a large team. Talk to the HR professional. Make sure you connect with the HR professional so he or she knows that you would be a good colleague. Remember, as soon as that interview is done, and as soon as the panel has made their decision, you go from being a candidate to a colleague, which is a big change. You need to make sure that the HR professional is convinced of the fact that you would make a good co-worker. So guys, we've talked about 4 major and popular parts of an airline induction process. An airline induction process, depending on the airline you apply to, may include other steps, for example, a simulator check or a sim check for a type-rated candidate. What you need to remember for a simulator check is keep it standard, follow your SOPs, help the other pilot, and the most important thing to remember during a simulator check is when uncertain, when you don't know what's going to happen next, when you're unsure, go around. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope it's helped you. If it has helped you, like, comment and subscribe. Share this video with as many aspiring commercial pilots as you can so we may all bust the myths surrounding commercial pilot training. Always remember to watch all my videos in conjunction with the blog, all you need to know about becoming a commercial pilot. I'm going to put a link down in the description, I'm going to flash a link on the screen, and I'm going to put a card up there for you. Please show me some support and sign up on Patreon, especially for some exclusive pilot training content, examinations and tests. I'm going to put a link down in the description, on the screen, and flash a card. As always, guys, to safe skies and safer landings. Till the next time, bye-bye.